Hello everyone, welcome back to the Beauty Professor. I'm Miss G, and today I'm going to teach you the very best way to apply Seint makeup. I'm also going to teach you a soft nude eye and show you the new release called Tiger Lily. If you'd like to learn, stay tuned. And please make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell because you don't want to miss all my tips and tricks on how to look younger. Let's create magic. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be teaching you the best application for Seint makeup. Maybe you've seen women placing little dots on their face, which is okay, but you're not going to get the best results using that makeup application with Seint makeup. I'm going to teach you what I have found that works the best for my skin, and I have seen other artists do this, and I have to agree with them. It is the best method. So we're just gonna hop in. I'll teach you some tips and tricks along the way. You also wanna stay tuned to the very end. I am going to show you the new lip and cheek of the season called Tiger Lily. It is a beautiful, gorgeous coral, and I'm going to do a soft nude eye to go along with it. So definitely stay tuned until the end so you can see that. So let's just hop right in to my compact. So I am working out of the compact that holds 27 full-size tints. It is the edition that was released. It's the winter edition. It has 3 layers. This is my very perfect. I call this one the mothership. It holds everything in here that I need to get ready. It holds everything except mascara. It's going to have your concealer, your foundation, your contour, different lip and cheeks you can put in here. It also has perfume, brow wax. On this level, I have my eyebrow gel, face powder. I have an eyeshadow cleaning towel here. My color correction, I'm going to show you how to color correct today under the eyes. And on this level, I usually teach the shades that I'm going to be using for the week out of this, but you could place your lip and cheeks down here. You could place mini eyeshadows down here. So everything in here is chosen by you. You choose it. I color match you. I offer that color match service to the first 3 shades, which the first one is your foundation shade, the second is your concealer, and the third one is your contour. I color match you, and so you get the very best match all sitting from your home. You just send me a selfie and I work with you through email or text, and it's great. You'll get the best color match possible that way. So let's begin. So I'm going to begin. My first shade here is called Aura. Yours may be called something else. And I find that using brushes is the best way to apply this. We don't want to use our finger because you're not going to get even application. So let's talk about these main brushes first. And now it's not about applying a little bit of makeup or a lot of makeup with Seint makeup. It's about choosing the correct brush. So you want to use, if you want full coverage, you're going to choose this brush. It's called the Buff brush, and it's going to give you the best coverage for more full coverage. The Buff brush I'm going to be working with today, so you will get to see this brush in action. So if you prefer more of a light coverage, and I like this brush a lot. I use this in the summer. I prefer lighter coverage in the summer. It's winter here where I live, so I like more of a medium to full coverage in winter. But if you like a light coverage, you're going to use this brush. It's called the blend brush. And as you can see, all of Seint's brushes are dual-ended, which makes it very nice to save space. And then this is one of the ones I recommend the most. This is the 3D brush. This is right in between. This is going to give you medium coverage, and they have two ends, one to apply your foundation shade and the other one to apply your brightening shade. And then that's the other thing. Let's talk about the vocabulary in Seint world. They do not call these shades foundation. The darker one is going to be called your main highlight, and the second one is going to be called your brightening highlight, and then the darker one here is called contour. And from here on out, that's what I am going to be referring to them as, just so you know the names. So I always begin, and we're going to work with this brush. I always begin, you can do this in any way, any direction you want. You can begin with your contour if you would like. You could begin with your brightening highlight if you want. You could begin with your main highlight if you like. You're probably going to get the same results. What you don't want to do is put those little dots all over your face and then blend that out. It's not going to give you the best results because everything's going to get mixed up. So your contour could get muddy, your blush is going to mix in with it. So that's why that is not the best method. I'm going to show you what works for me, and I like to begin with my brightening highlight. Now remember, with cream makeup, less is more. So there's no swiping in and grabbing a lot on your brush. You want to begin with the most minimal amount. And I have a mirror down here where I'm going to be working because I film in landscape. I used to, I film on Facebook, which is really nice. You can film with your phone vertically, and then you can use your phone as a mirror. But on YouTube, we film landscape, so it's impossible for me to do my makeup because there's nowhere for me to see. So I have a mirror down here that I'm going to be working with. I'll be looking up and down, and if you're wondering what I'm looking at a mirror. It's right here. So I just begin placing this where I want coverage, and I'm just going to put this down, and then I slightly like dab into my product as I go. Now, this brightening highlight is going to be going in the center of our face. So we don't want to put our main highlight there. And the contour is going to be going under our cheeks and around the top of our forehead and under our jaw. So we don't want to put, you know, our main highlight there either, because they all have coverage. So I'm only placing this in the smallest amount where I want coverage, where the other highlight isn't going to go. So I'm just going to take it up my cheekbone. I have some melasma along the sides of my forehead here. I have some along this side, and I'm going to place a little bit of coverage right through the middle of my forehead, and I'm just going to repeat over here. I already did alongside of my face. I'm going to go down the center here by my cheek, and then I'm going to go up the cheek line. Now, if I wasn't filming, I would blend this in right now. I would begin blending this in. So I'm going to show that to you. A lot of people stop right here so you can see the placement, and then again, you have all this makeup on your face, and then you're blending. But let's do this just like you're going to do this at home. So you're going to blend this in. And when we blend in, there's none of this motion. It's just a dabbing in motion. And it goes very fast. This makeup is super fast, partly because you're not working with liquids. You're not getting it on your hands. You're not making a mess. You're not having to wash your hands in between. But it's this genius compact. Everything you need is right here, so you're not looking through your drawers for anything. This cut's getting in ready. It saves me so much time. I can have this part of my makeup done in under 5 minutes. I mean, it is super fast, especially if you're not teaching like I am right now. But I'm just placing this down, and then I just go back over, and wherever I need a little bit more coverage, I'm just going to add it. So I have my melasma. I don't know if you can see it on camera. It's a pretty apparent right here, so I'm going to put a little bit more right here, and then the rest looks pretty good. All right. Now I'm going to do the center of my face. So we're going to put brightening highlight. Think of having this imaginary upside down triangle on your face. This is where our brightening highlight is going to go. This creates the dimension. Remember, this is 3D makeup. We're using 3 shades. We're not using one liquid shade with like regular foundation where you're just placing it from ear to ear, forehead to chin, and you are getting this flat canvas of color. With cream makeup, with Seint cream makeup, you're getting 3 shades that builds dimension, that just enhances your beauty, because our face isn't just one shade when you're looking at it. So it gives you the most skin-like appearance, and it's just absolutely beautiful. This makeup is clean. There's only 11 ingredients while I'm talking about that. So now I'm going to switch my brush over, and again, I'm using the buff brush, and I'm going to go into this brighter highlight. And this is going right down the center of my face. I'm going to go take it right down the center of my nose, top of my lip, under my nose. I have some redness. And then on my chin. And I'm going to begin blending this across the tops of my eyebrows. I'm going to take it up into the middle of my forehead a little bit right here. I'm going to blend it down the top of my nose. I'm going to blend it here on my lip and on my chin. Now, if you do not have under eye circles, and if you are younger than I am and you don't have much texture, wrinkles, or fine lines under your eyes, you would put this cream highlight, this brightening highlight, under your eyes. But I have a better way for mature ladies, and I'm going to show you right now. These are the color correct shades that I use on the daily. I'm going to show you how I color correct under my eyes. This is a part of Seint makeup. It is called Demi, and it is just colored wax that we use to color correct areas. Instead of placing a lot of cream makeup in their area, we color correct. So when you don't use a lot of makeup on a textured area, you don't see it as much as when you color correct. Just watch, it's amazing. You can watch the magic happen. So underneath my eyes, you can see I have some red. Let me see if I can skip red. Under here, I have some purple. I'm not going to give you a color science lesson. I will have one. I do them frequently, but it's not going to be in this tutorial. This is on the best application. So this, I'm going to use this brush. It is called the the bright brush, and I'm going in to this shade. It is called 03, and I am going to place this right here in the corners of my eyes, where I have the most darkness. And you can watch me as I do this, and I'm using the smallest amount. One of these little tins is going to last you forever. I've had these for 7 months now, and you can't even tell that I have used them. So I'm using the end of the brush, and I'm just tapping in to that dark area. And once that darkness is covered, then I move on to the next area. So my next area of darkness is right here. So let's see if I can do this while I'm looking straight at you, so you can watch the magic happen. Just dabbing in. Do you see that? How it just disappears? Again, this is 03. I'm just dabbing in, and then I just dab. I use this dabbing motion, or stipple motion. I don't know what we would call it, but it's just a pop, pop, pop underneath this darkness. Now, before I started, I just had simply moisturized my face. I don't need primers. I don't have oily skin. I don't have large pores. With cream makeup, you really don't need a primer. It is very moisturizing. It stays put. Unless you have oily skin, then you might want to use a primer for oily skin, but it has to be silicone free. That's the big thing with cream makeups and silicones. They do not mix. So you don't want to use moisturizer with silicone, setting spray with silicone. You don't want to use any silicone on your face whatsoever when using cream makeup. and you know, I don't use any, and my makeup stays in place all day long. Okay, now I'm going to switch shades. I'm going to go into this lighter peachy color. This one is called 01, and this is going to go on the rest of my under eye to brighten up. So I'm just placing the smallest amount again, right under the eye, pressing it in, pushing it in, and you can see how that is just doing the nicest job. Instead of using the brightening highlight, I'm using the smallest amount of this color correction. Now, you cannot detect this with the naked eye. If you were standing up close to my face, you would not be able to see this. And it leaves a very nice sheen under your eyes. It's going to keep your under eye moisturized, which is one of my favorite things about Seint makeup, is how moisturizing it is. Concealer can be very drying, can crack throughout the day. So then I'm just going to go back into this, and I'm just going to place it on top of that 03 to brighten that up. And it is just looking fabulous. All that darkness is gone, and I haven't applied any concealer, any brightening shade. I like to take a little bit of my eyelids and color correct up here. Whatever's left on this brush, I just press this in. I'm gonna flip my brush around, and then I'm just gonna tap this in, make sure it's blended, and that's it. I like to go back in. I use my eyeshadow cleaning towel here to clean my end of my brush. It does a great job of getting the Demi off the end of the brush. And you want to have a clean brush when you're applying this, because if you get wax buildup on here, it's not going to apply as nicely. So I'm going to go into, this is R1. This just finishes off. It just adds the prettiest brightener underneath. And then this is like where we get troughs or dents under our eyes. I like to place it right here so you can see how that is just brightening it up. Look at that. It is beautiful. So I am applying this makeup for up close personal makeup. This is not, you know, not for photo shoots. This is for every day, going to work, going out to dinner, whatever you need to do in real life. It's in real life makeup. It's just beautiful, clean skin, pretty skin makeup. Okay, so that was color correction under my eyes. We are going to move on to the next thing, and that is going to be contour. Do contouring. It's my favorite part, besides lip and cheek, eyeshadow, and the illumination. I just love Seint makeup. It's fabulous, the best makeup I've ever used in my life. I used to teach school and get up at 5 every morning. I wish I would have had this back then. It would have saved me so much time. I probably could have slept until 6, but I love it. It's fantastic. So this darker shade, this is our contour. This is a little darker than what I would usually use, but I'm just using this a little darker shade on myself so you can see it on my face. So I switched brushes. You can use the same brush. I don't like to, because if you're using the same brush, you're going to use this end, and I just used this end to apply my lightest shade of highlight under my eyes. So if I go into this dark shade, now I have dark makeup on the end of this, and when I go to use it next time, I'm going back into the light, and I'm not going to get the correct shade the next time I use it. So I like to use a brush that is meant for this fine detail work, and that's what this is called, is the detail brush. And you can see it has this finely packed little head that is perfect for going underneath the cheeks, is perfect for working on the forehead. It has this little end I like to use with illumination at the end, our illuminators. You can apply a little bit of your brightening highlight with this. It's a great little end. Again, all of our brushes are dual-ended. I recommend this is the detail brush, and it does a perfect job. So what I did when I first started is I began with a 3D brush, and then I added to my collection, and then the next time I bought another brush, and then another brush, and then you can buy, there's a brush collection and just go right in from the beginning and save yourself some money. So I'm going to go into this. Now, our contour is a little bit drier, so you can pick up a little bit more on your brush, and I'm just wiggling in. You can see wiggling in, and I'm going to pick this up on my brush. I am going to contour my forehead first. I'm just going to take this straight across my forehead. And a lot of this depends on your face shape. I have a heart-shaped face, so I have a wider forehead, and I want to make it look like my forehead is fading off into the distance, so my forehead is not the center of attention anymore. So I'm just going to take almost like a rainbow down the side of my face, keeping it away from the temple here, but just keeping it up high. And it's just like that. I can go up here and put a little bit more to the high areas of my forehead. If you have bangs, if you wear bangs, you don't need to do this. Again, a lot of it depends on your face shape, and when you work with me, I will send you a graphic on exactly where to place it for your face shape. Okay, now, why do we want to contour? Let me get my hair out of this. That's why I wear this headband. Why do we want to contour in the first place? It seems like it's just all of a sudden appeared. It hasn't. Contour's been around a long time. It's just with social media and the ease of learning techniques from makeup artists, it's popular now because it makes your face look so much better because you're adding that dimension. With this cheek contour, we are going to lift our faces, and this is when the fun happens, and this can take years off your face. It's going to give us a cheek lift. So I'm going to start. The important thing to remember with your contour on your cheek is you want to keep everything behind this line of the corner of your eye. Very important. So we want to have our contour right beneath our cheekbone, and we're going to keep it up high. We're working on this pulling up angle. Everything's going up on this angle to help us make this look younger. So let me show you. I'm going to dab in here, and I start at the top of my ear, and I just place this right underneath my cheekbone, and that's all there is to it. Let's do the other side, top of the ear. I'm going to place this right under my cheekbone. And there we have it. So I kept that line back here. It's direct underneath my cheekbone. The line is aiming towards the corner of my mouth. See? And now it has put dimension there. It's going to make my cheekbone look higher, which helps us look younger. So let's move on to our jawline. Now, as we age, this starts to fall forward. We get a double chin. We start to lose our angles on our jawline. So I find the best way to do this is to make this ugly Yoda face, and that is where this is going. So I'm going to put it right here, and then it's not on the bone, it's right under the bone. And you can watch as I do this, how all of a sudden it's just going to make things look better. Having this, remember, the darkness pushes things back, lighter shades pull things forward. So I'm pushing this dark shade underneath this area, and you can see on camera how all of a sudden it just pushes that back. Now, if you have jowls, you can bring this up here on your jawline, and that will help disguise those just a little bit. You don't want a big, bright brown line there. All right. Next place that is fantastic to place contour is underneath your bottom lip. And as we age, our lips, we lose this plumpness. Our lips start to curl under. So if we put a little bit of contour underneath our lip, it's going to push, that darkness pushes things back, which makes other things pull forward. So I'm going to use this as the multitasking brush. I use this for all kinds of things. I like this for contouring my nose, and underneath the contour, I also use this for eyeshadow, eyeliner. It's why it's called the multitasking brush. It's a great little brush. So I'm just going to dab the little end in, and I'm just gonna go right underneath the lip and draw a little line, just like that. Pretty simple. All right, noses. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on nose contour today. There's many ways to do it. It's all dependent on your nose shape. There's just let's see, the best way to say this is the lines, two lines going straight down. It's kind of a universal nose contour. So let's just do that. The larger area of my nose, so my nose is narrow through here and it comes out a little bit here and on the, like a ball, and then in my nose. I'm going to disguise some of that. I like to use this multitasking brush and just draw an angle in like this. I have it going towards my eyebrow, and then the closer these lines are going straight down, the more narrow you can make your nose appear. So see that? And then I really want to shave off some of this nose, so I'm going to start bringing this forward here, and then add some darkness on the bulb of the end of my nose. And that is all there is to it. You can put a little bit underneath your nose. I can help you with this area too. But just remember to keep these lines close. All right, now we get to blend this all out. I'm looking a little crazy right now, right? Okay. Okay, so we did the forehead, cheekbones, under the jawline, lip, and the nose. So I'm going to take this detail brush and I'm going to start blending this back. So it has sat on my face for a little bit. It's nice and soft, and it's going to blend in nice and easy. So I'm blending this, again, it's a pushing in motion. I'm blending this straight back into my hairline, up into there, take it straight back, pushing in and pulling it up. And that is all there is to it. And now you can see how that makes my forehead just roll back. The center of the tension is right here, right here. Okay, but under the cheek, we're just gonna wiggle this. I don't wanna move this too much, and my blush is going to go on top of it. What we really want to have is a clean line under here. I'm gonna teach you next how to do that. So I'm just pushing this in, pulling it up a little bit. Okay, under our necks, we really want to blend this out. So you're going to be pushing in and pulling down, pushing in, pulling down. You don't want to blend it up in here. We're just going right under the jawline. Hear my hearing. And then whatever's left on my brush, I just draw these lines and go straight down, which is going to thin out my neck even more. It's going to push the neck back, leave this bright, and this pulls forward. Okay, on to the lip. So the lip, I just take my finger and I just smudge it, just so the line's not so harsh. Like that. The nose, I'm going back to my multitasking brush, and I'm going on the other side where there's no contour, and I'm just going to blend this down. So contouring does not have to be scary. It's very easy to learn. So you do it a couple times, you'll get the hang of it. You can practice. That's half the fun with makeup, is just playing in your makeup. I play in my makeup all the time. That's how I learn what looks best on me. I've been doing that since I was a little girl. All right, playing in my mom's makeup. Okay, so I have the contour complete. Now I'm gonna go back with, remember I said how convenient this brush is, the other end of the detail brush. We're gonna go back in and we are gonna clean up a little bit. Let's make this perfect. Let's make this contour under here perfect. So I'm gonna use this and think of this as like a magic eraser, going back into my main highlight and getting a little bit. And I'm just going to clean that line up so it is perfect. So it is not smudgy. If you came too far down, you can erase it. With liquid and powders, you can't do this because if you're mixing liquid on top of powder and cleaning it up, it's a mess. It gets cakey. Just doesn't look good. So you want to make sure these lines are even when you're looking at yourself, and mine are. Now, if you went too high up here, you could correct this. I did not. If you went too low here, you can correct that. And then what I like to do next is go back to my multitasking brush, that clean side, and I like to pick up some brightening highlight and just go down the center of my nose. You didn't think I was gonna leave my nose looking like that. And re-brighten this up. Pull it down. Go back in with my finger. And then put some on the end of my nose, just to blend that in a little bit more. And then the last thing I like to do is go into my brightening highlight, and I'm just picking up the very, 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 very smallest amount. And I'm just going to just go over that contour line, just like a magic eraser. And there we have it. The very best application method for Seint makeup. Now, a lot of artists don't do this, and this is the most important part. This is the Perfector Sponge. Comes in this cute little can. You can use any makeup sponge you have. This one's great. I like it because it has this little can you can stow away in your purse and use it later. I already rinsed this under the faucet and I squeezed it out a few times. I wash it with antibacterial soap every Sunday because I don't want it to harbor any bacteria in here. Then I wring it out in a microfiber cloth and really get it almost dry. Then I let it sit here on my vanity while I'm getting ready. Next, I use Seint setting spray. This setting spray is made for this cream makeup. We don't want to use a lot of powder as we age because powder is very drying for mature skin. It also finds fine lines and wrinkles, settles in there with that liquid foundation. It's going to enhance whatever wrinkles and texture you have. And so we shy away with it and use the least amount that you can get away with. So setting spray, I'm going to set my makeup now instead of using setting powder. Now I will use a little bit of powder later at the end. So I'm just spraying this all over my sponge, getting it damp with setting spray. And I'm going to be very careful. I didn't place any highlight underneath my eyes. It looks nice and bright under there. I didn't need any brightening highlight because I color corrected. If you want, you can. If you need a little bit more, you can put a little bit of brightening highlight if you have a special occasion and you want to look absolutely perfect. But I like the way this looks. It looks very natural up close. You can't, I'm looking at a 10 times magnification mirror and I can't see it. So I don't want to lift this up. So I'm just going to press and spray right on the end of this. I just want to set that Demi. I'm just going to press it in. And that is it. I'm not going to pick that up. Now the rest of my face, I'm just doing a once over. I'm pushing this cream makeup into my skin. I'm going to avoid my cheek contour because I don't want to pick that up. If you were heavy-handed, this is going to pick up some makeup, which is nice because if you are first beginning with the Seint makeup, most people, I even did this, you apply too much. So this helps pick up a little bit, also blends in the makeup, and it's setting our makeup. Our makeup's not going anywhere, and it's just, there's good for you ingredients in this. There's hyaluronic acid, there's aloe vera. It's going to put a pretty glow on your skin. So I'm going over this on my chin, on my neck, and a little bit on my nose. And there we have it. The perfect application for Seint makeup, the very best. Everything is beautiful the way it's supposed to be. Let's move on to Tiger Lily, this brand new release. I can't wait to try it. I haven't tried it yet. I'm going to be putting on my cheeks and lips. Should I bronze? Should I bronze? Let me think. Let me think about it. Let's see. I've decided to bronze. I can never make up my mind. I'm a Libra. It's a Libra thing. So this is the bronze and blush brush. It is meant, this big end is meant to apply bronzer. You don't want to use a tiny little end to apply bronzer with because you're going to get way too much product there. This is the best brush, and this side is for our blush. This is the third, this was the third brush I purchased when I could fit it into my budget. And they're not very expensive. And remember, you're getting two for the price of one, and they're the finest quality. Best brushes I've ever used. So these two shades, they're both the same. It's called Bella Bronzer. It is the world's best bronzer I think I've ever used. It's amazing. Everybody loves it. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. If you haven't used a cream bronzer, it's shocking once you do, because again, working with powders, powder blushes, powder bronzers, it's drying out mature skin. It's finding fine lines and wrinkles, and it's taking away that beautiful glow on our skin. But using a cream bronzer is a whole nother ball game. It's going to add moisture. It's going to add this beautiful sheen. And I'm going to pick up right next door here is an illuminator called Glow. I'm going to pick up just the smallest amount of that just to add a little bit of glow to my face. And I'm just going to place this on the back side of my face. I don't want to go into that bright area, and I'm just using the smallest amount. It is winter here. I don't want to have a very tan face. I do use a lot more of this in the summer, but you can see how it's just, I'm going to put a little bit on the fronts of my cheeks, across my nose. I'm going to go back in and pick up a little bit more, put on my chin, a little down here, and then I'm going to put it down my neck, because we want this to match, right? We want our neck, chest, and face to all sort of blend together. And I'm just blending this. And this brush is so luxurious. This is my favorite part. I just love pushing it in my skin. So soft. It makes you feel so girly. Go on top of that contour. And just warm up my face a little bit. It is so pretty. I can already see, I don't know if you can see it in camera, but when I move my face, it is just, you can see, I can see it in the camera. Okay, yeah, it's just beautiful. So I just slightly bronzed. And now we are gonna go to Tiger Lily. So here it is. This is Tiger Lily. It's beautiful. Especially this time of year when everything's sort of dead. This is gorgeous. Let's do a color swatch. So this is a satin shade, also known as matte. So there's not going to be any shimmer in this. There's no shine. I highly recommend exfoliating any dead skin that you might have on your lips, because matte shades enhance those colors. I would say this color is pretty accurate in the camera. It might be a little bit cooler than it's showing up here. Yeah, I would say it's a brighter coral than this. I'm not going to be applying it this dark on my cheeks and lips, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to apply it. It's going to be so pretty. I'm going to be working with the blush and bronzer brush. So our lip and cheeks, the satin, the matte shades are highly pigmented, and you don't want to go dabbing into your brush at first until you know how much to get on your brush. So I'm always very careful to begin with until I know how much I need, and I'm going to use my finger and apply 3 dots of this on top of that contour Remember, we're keeping everything behind the eye there for the maximum lift. So that's it. And then I'm going to place a dot of it up here high. Next, I'm going to go in and I'm going to tap this in. We don't want to use these motions because we don't want to move that contour that we just did. So this is the first time I've applied it on my cheeks. I'm excited to see what it looks like. It's such a pretty color. Seint has a few shades that are similar to this. There is a gloss called Dahlia that I would actually prefer to pair that on my lips because I like a glossy lip, but let's put a little bit more on there. It is really pretty. Look at that. So pretty. Now we're not going to put this right here. We're not pulling our face down. We're pulling our face up. So when you get mature, you want to place your blush up high. I like to take whatever's left and just put a little bit up here on top of my eyebrow and a little on the end of my nose, just to warm it all up. All right, for the sake of time, I'm going to use a little bit of magic and I'm going to finish the other side of the face. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I am loving it. It's such a pretty coral. It is a gorgeous coral. So there's not going to be any shine on the cheeks. There's not going to be any shine on the lips. Let's move on and put this on the lips. Again, I'm going to be working with my multitasking brush. I need to grab it. Here it is. So this is a multitasking brush I use just for my lips because it is great for applying lipstick. I am going to dab into this beautiful shade and then I'm just going to be pressing it on and pulling it down over my lip. So as I said before, matte shades, well, this is called a satin shade. It will emphasize any sort of dryness you have on your lips, so you want to exfoliate that. And I exfoliated my lips last night. Look how pretty. And I'm just tapping this on to the center of my lip. And let's do the upper. Look how beautiful is that. Seint, they outdid themselves. It is beautiful. I'm in love. So this is called Tiger Lily. I will link everything in the description for you. So you can, I'll put the name of it and links on how to contact me and shopping links and so forth down there. So you can see this. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful coral. Very gorgeous. Yeah, I'm totally in love. All right, so if you want some more moisture on your lips, you could put a gloss on this. Seint has a little gloss right here. I'm just gonna put a little bit on it because my lips need a little extra moisture. And it's so pretty. So that is what it looks like with a little gloss. All right, now we get to move on to Illuminator. I'm going to use this shade called Rose Gold. It is beautiful. It is nothing like, in the other makeup land, they call this, I'm sorry, I forget because I haven't used the other makeup in so long, but it's called a highlighter. And it's a powder. Again, powders emphasize fine lines, wrinkles, and texture and dry your skin out. This is the exact opposite of that. It is absolutely gorgeous on the skin. It makes mature skin light up with this beautiful glow. It's not overwhelming. It's not over shimmery. Adds extra moisture. It's just beautiful. I'm going to top it off on my cheeks and go down the center of my nose and maybe put a little wash of it across my forehead. I'm going to use this end of my detail brush and I'm going to pick up a generous amount of this. Again, this one's called Rose Gold, and I'm just going on the very top of my cheekbone and a little bit on the apples of my cheek to put a little glow there. It's so pretty. This complements this shade, Tiger Lily, perfectly. So right here on the top, I keep looking in the camera the wrong way. I apologize. I'm saving up for a real camera, but they're expensive. And let me move my hair up here a little bit. Oh, it's so pretty. And then I smile and just put it on the tops of my cheeks. You can see this subtle glow. And then I love to put it above my eyebrow to lift my brow. And on the same over here, I use my finger and put it down the center of my nose. I don't like to place this on the end of my nose, but you can if you want. You can use this anywhere you want. It is so pretty. Look at that. See the extra glow? I never skip this step. Illuminator is beautiful. It's not overpowering like a highlighter. This is meant for mature skin. Go back and just add a little bit more because it's so pretty. If you were in my beauty group on Facebook, I have a picture of myself out in the sun, and it doesn't even look like I have makeup on. It just looks like a really pretty, healthy skin. Of course, we can see our lipstick, and I'm going to do a really pretty nude eye next. Let's get to that. Do some eyeshadows. This is going to be a really pretty, soft nude that you could wear every day. If you follow along, I always use these two shades, Cupcake. As you can see, this is like a third one I've used. Cupcake and Drift. So by now, our cream makeup, if we put it on our eyelids, is creasing, and we are going to need to set it. So you can go in and set it with the Vanilla Dust. I like to use Cupcake because it gives me a little bit of color, and I'm just going to wash this across the top of my eyebrow, my lid, and go in the dark inner corner here. And now this is put powder down. It is going to ensure that when I'm adding my shadows, everything is going to blend more smoothly, and it's set. My makeup is set on my eyelids, and it's not going to crease throughout the day. Now, again, I don't use primer on my eyelids. I don't have oily skin, but if you need primer for oily skin, put that on your eyelids by all means, but make sure it is silicone free if you place the, got some on my eyebrow here. If you place it on there like that. Okay, so let's go. So that was Cupcake. Next, I'm going into my transition shade. This shade right here is called Chai. I'm going to pick up this. And then this is going to go up on my brow bone, not all the way to the top, because I want Cupcake to shine through, because that brighter shade up there lifts the eye. And I'm all about placing eyeshadows to give myself an eye lift. We also our eyes start to smush down. Aging's lovely. And we lose this space in here, and we begin to get a hooded eye. So if you put a transition shade, we're actually, again, we're using dark to push that back, to bring in the light to pull this forward. Is going to make an eye socket here. It's going to make and lift your eye. So there. So you always want to be able to look at yourself in a mirror and see if you can see this transition shade. And I can. I'm going to put one more coat. Always knock it off. So dab in. I like to go in a circle. They're super soft. They're super pigmented. And just dab in and knock it off. And just go back and forth. This is an easy motion. Anybody can do this. It's a windshield wiper motion. And there we have it. Chai. Okay, the next shade we are going into is this beautiful one right here. It's called Cafe. I am going to use that as the next transition shade. It's going to, again, darken up the crease, and this is going to go down on the lid a little bit. So I'm going to use this same, oh, I forgot to say, this is the eyeshadow brush. It's amazing. It has a small little end for detail work and this big fat fluffy end to do the work I just been doing. I love this brush. The more I use these brushes, the more they become like an extension of my hands. Remember, you have to have the correct tool to do a professional job. You're not going to paint your walls with some junky little brush and expect professional looking results. You want the correct tools to get the best results. So let's go in. We're going to go and pick that up. Again, this one is called Cafe. So we have chai, cafe, and then we're going to be using cocoa. So these are easy names to remember. So this is a very pretty cool tone. Pick up some more. I might flip my brush over because it is a little bit lighter than I expected. I'm going to flip my brush over. This is a more densely packed, so I'm going to get more color payoff, and I want a little bit more here. It's very pretty. Get a little closer so you can see. And I just coated the lid, keeping my eyeshadows inside this line. We don't want to bring anything down in here because it pulls the eye down to the side. So we want to keep everything in here. So that's just a very nude, but it's like something there. Again, this is a soft nude eye look. Okay, now we're going to go into Cocoa. This is my very favorite brown. It's warm. So we have some cool tones here. Now we're going to put some warm. I'm going to put this on a diagonal so I get this lift here. So it's just, I go here and then I pull it straight down. I didn't get enough on my brush. I'm going to go here and then pull it straight down. Go back and get a little bit more. I'd rather use a little and then add than place a whole lot on there and then have to blend it out. So here's our placement. Now what's here, I'm going to blend this into the crease and then pull it all the way over. Again, it's just a windshield wiping motion, just back and forth, nice and soft. And this is a very pretty color. Anybody can wear these shades because I'm using cools and warms at the same time. This is going to be a nice professional everyday eye that you could wear to work. You can wear it anywhere. All right. Now we are going to move on to this beautiful girl right here. This is called the Soulmate. This is our shimmer. Let's I'll use my finger. Shimmer. We only want to place shimmer where we don't have a lot of texture and wrinkles. Right here in the center of our eyelid, we don't have as much, and we don't want just this matte eye as we age because it just flattens things out. It gets rid of the sparkle that we have in our eyes. So we want to place a little bit of shimmer, and we can totally wear shimmers as we age. You just know where you need to know where to place them. So I'm going in with my pinky and I pick up some of this beautiful Soulmate, and then I'm just going to place it right smack dab in the center. And look at that, it's so pretty. Such a pretty combination. So that was one coat. I'm going to go in for a little bit more. Just put it right in the center. Now, don't use your finger and put it in the corner of your eye like that, because it's going to gravitate, it's going to move, and it's going to get down here under the eye. We don't want anything under our eye that's a shimmer, because that's going to emphasize fine lines, textures, and wrinkles. So I'm going to go back in with this end of my brush. I'm going to go back into Cocoa, and I'm just going to darken that area up again, making sure that I have no shimmer in this crease line, and just darken this outer corner up again. Look how pretty this eye is. It's absolutely beautiful. Now, what I like to do is sitting next to Cupcake, because it's sister, and it's called Drift, and you can see, and it's the similar shade. It just has shimmer to it, where Cupcake is flat, no shimmer. Drift has shimmer. So I'm going to be using this right up here underneath the brow bone and in the corner of the eye, just to lift that eye some more. I'm going in with the other end of the detail brush, or the multitasking brush, I'm sorry. And I'm just going to be placing this right underneath my brow hairs, the very tippy top. I like to tap it in. I don't want it to be super bright, but I want it to be there. And you can see how it just adds a little shimmer there to open up the eye. And then right here in the corner of our eye, we have this, oops, what I just did. I just put some here on my face. Don't you love that? When you're almost finished with your makeup, then you make a mistake. Oh, goodness. I got shimmer right there in the bridge of my nose. Well, see, let me use this as a learning lesson here. So I'm just gonna go back in with my highlight and cover that up. Super easy, super fast. With liquid, we would be sitting here a while doing that. Okay, so back to Drift, and we will be almost finished with this look. I'm just going right in this area where it's dark. We have absolutely no wrinkles there because we cannot make movement there. And it's dark. It's just the perfect place to highlight. And you can bring it up into here, but whatever you do, do not pull it down on here. I do not use my finger to brighten this up. It's just when I see that, I go like this and cringe. I'm just like, no, don't do that. Just keep it right here, high, so it doesn't fall down underneath your eyes, because you don't want to do that. It would land underneath these eyes and enhance fine lines, textures, and wrinkles. Okay, let's do the other eye. Okay, I have both eyelids done with the power of magic. And let's put a little bit of eyeshadow underneath the eyes and help define the lower lash line a little bit. So I'm going to go back in to this beautiful shade here called Cafe, and I'm just going to run this underneath my eyelash line, but not too tight. Just right underneath it. I'm using the small end of the multitasking brush, and I'm just smudging it in. And then next I'm going to go into the shade Cocoa, and I'm just going to place a little bit on the outside and connect it up to the corner. This helps tie everything in, and it's just a beautiful look. Now you can line your eyes from here if you like to line. I do not line my eyes. I find that once you put that line there, you are closing in that area that I was talking about that's getting smaller. You can tight line your eyes if you like. I don't do that either because my eyes are super sensitive to all sorts of eyeliner, so I don't do that. So I wear eyelashes, and that gives me enough of a line there that I don't have to worry about that. So this is the finished eye look. It's absolutely beautiful. It looks so pretty with this tiger lace, nice soft look, perfect for the day, perfect for office, perfect for anything really that you want to do. Let's talk about powder. So at the very end is when I like to powder. This is Vanilla Dust. It's finely milled. It's translucent. It's a fabulous powder. I'm going to go in. This is our powder brush. It's got the perfect end to powder areas. So I am going to powder some spots. I'm just dab into this. I'm going to powder, I like to powder the end of my nose. I don't like the end of my nose to be shiny. I am going to do a little bit on my T-zone right there. And all around my nose. And then I wear glasses, so I like to place some right here. I don't have wrinkles here at the top of my cheek, and right here. So my glasses don't slide down my face. If you're having that problem, try putting a little teeny bit of powder right there. So that is it. Now I like to go back and do a once over. I like to look in my mirror, make sure that everything is blended in, that I have enough blush on, that my eyeshadow's even, and it looks pretty good to me. I am finished. If you would like a color match, again, that's where I match you the first three highlights here. I will have a jot form down below. There's a link tree down below. There's many ways to contact me, and I will get right back to you and we can get you color matched. And thank you for joining me this week. Come back next week for another fun lesson. Take care and have a magical day. Bye.